typical Braylon Edwards game.
And he fumbled it.
Yeah, and he fumbled it.
But he still, on paper, was fantastic.
Yeah.
If you had Kellen Winslow in your fantasy.
You can look at paper all you want, but necessarily paper doesn't win football games.
Exactly.
Cleveland has a lot of fundamental problems. And
best newspaper quote I heard all week was that Brady Quinn will start. He'll play great, but the receivers will still drop passes.
Yeah. That's just unfortunate.
And he didn't.
I love this microphone.
Dre Bly looked like Superman last night because of no passing down the field. When you get Braylon Edwards in short routes, there's nothing he can do against Dre Bly. You have just handcuffed him. He can't play in that situation.
Well, he also has a problem catching.
Yeah, but you get him down the field. Against the Giants, he ate them up.
And dropped some passes.
He dropped some passes, but he ate them up. And, you didn't give him any chance with the play calling there.
Well, it is, the 2008 season, that seems to be the theme of things is, all receivers are dropping passes this year. It's like the new trend in the NFL. Hey, guys, you're cool and you get to wear bling if you drop all your passes.
Dropping passes, yes. Eddie Royal did not drop passes.
Eddie
Royal went bananas.
All right. Well, he doesn't count. He doesn't have to.
Why doesn't he count?
He's not blinging the luck.
And the one catch he did not
NFL
drop
amnesty?
was for 92 yards.
93.
Yeah.
You only need one non-drop for 92 yards to establish yourself as, a non-dropper.
That was when the Cleveland secondary came out and proved who they were. They had played pretty well. Poole picked off. They were who I thought they were.
That's
and
right.
who Denver thought they were.
They got let off.
And they were not let off the hook.
No, they did get let off the hook.
I don't remember anybody crowning their asses, but it was
no.
close.
Yeah.
The anointing oil never came out for the Cleveland secondary. What I would like to point out is that I think that's they're calling the season when they put him in, because I think that Anderson would have won that game with the running that they had in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Garfield the Cat's in trouble.
Romeo
is he's praying right now.
And the Broncos were down to their fullback as their starter. They lost 2
Oh,
starting running backs.
Selvin Young's out.
And was going with only their fullback.
That is the one question about the NFL this year. How many people are going to go down?
They always get injured. I mean,
I
injury
haven't seen
how many people are going to go down.
I haven't seen this many starting running backs go down in a long time.
Are you talking about just in the running back position or the entire league, all positions?
Purely running backs. Think of Willie Parker. Think of
Joseph Addai,
Selvin Young.
Yeah, Denver's
Selvin
entire
Young's
running back.
out.
Yeah.
The Patriots'
all of
entire
the
running back
Patriots
squad.
Running back core.
Right. And
Larry Johnson likes to punch
Felix
people and
Jones.
spit in their
Not fun.
face. I mean,
Felix Jones is down. Even when Dominic Rhodes came in for 2 games, he left that second game covering for Addai with a sprained ankle.
I hate to tell you guys, but that's kind of what goes with the name of the position. Those guys are supposed to run through a stack of people, of at least 8 people.
A wall of humanity.
A wall of humanity at typically 20 times per game.
Coach Justin has been with the NFL for a long time. He's very experienced in this area.
Put your guys out, that you ask them to perform big things in a tight group of people that are all trying to kill you. So injuries are going to happen.
Thank you, John Madden.
Yeah. Boom. Boom, pow.
Ooh.
When I coached in the NFL, things were a little different.
I'm
The guys
just
were a little
saying,
tougher. They didn't get hurt as much.
You make it sound like injuries in the running
It
back
is a
position
little
are
more staggering than usual, I would say.
Yeah, it's more. I haven't had 5 running backs that were injured on a fantasy team until this year. And I'm looking around like, who am I going to get? And they're like, oh, everybody's got a bunch of injured running backs. It's a little bit more than usual.
But you see, Sam, this is the NFL. These things happen.
Okay, well.
They do happen.
They happen.
That's my point. It could be a fluke. I could be just blowing smoke.
Getting back to Denver's running back situation, that happened before the end of the first half. That it was obvious that Selvin Young wasn't going to be able to go. On the first run, he really had, in the non-third down situation, he broke it for about 15 and fell down holding his groin. They were going to go with the fullback. At the end of the half, Denver's walking off the field. Jay Cutler's pulling his straps off. He walks through the line, and Sean Rogers comes up and shoves him. That's when I think the Cleveland Browns lost the game, because they made him angry in a situation when he had to come back in the second half, and it was all him, and Sean Rogers just pushed him, and they had a little jaw session. And then Jay Cutler went into that halftime with a 63 passer rating and left the game with 107 passer rating, 447 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You're calling out Sean Rogers, saying that Sean Rogers lost that game for the Cleveland Browns.
It wasn't a smart move.
No.
Nah, he went into the locker room and watched Rocky 1, 2, skipped 3, skipped 4, and watched 5.
Yeah.
And that's the
It's all
reason. It wasn't
diabetes
Sean
and attitude.
Rogers. It was all about Rocky Balboa.
A little hustle and flow out of the locker room.
But Sean Rogers, I mean, you don't get in
make him
people's
angry.
grills. If somebody has potential in the NFL, I mean, they're good enough. You don't want to fire up.
But
that
Sean
kettle.
Rogers is
But
like
it was
600
somebody that
pounds of
knew
anger.
going
That's
into
true.
the locker
That's
room.
true.
When he was pulling those straps off, all he was thinking about is exactly what he was going to do when it was all on him in the second half. And Rogers knew that, and he called him out by shoving him, and that was not smart.
Yeah.
And he woke up the sleeping giant. Jay Cutler's had I have him in my fantasy league. He did not perform admirably. He was good enough for a fantasy quarterback, but not like the first couple weeks when I was just winning games by 100 because I had Jay Cutler.
Did you have him this week?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we always start Jay Cutler.
Yes,
The other guy's Chad Pennington, so
Yeah. We got a caller.
we
It's
do have a
J-Dog
caller.
out of Gotham City. Sweet.
Browns wants to talk about the
Gotham
Cleveland
City
Browns.
Batman's team, apparently. J-Dog, you're up.
Do we have J-Dog?
Oh,
Silent caller.
hello, J-Dog.
J-Dog.
Hey, this is Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, I wonder how you guys feel about the Cleveland Browns situation with the quarterback. Derek Anderson isn't that old of a quarterback. He hasn't been in the league that long. How do you feel about just like putting him on the bench and
They're-
just Brady Quinn time?
They gave up the season. They're going to develop Quinn, and they're going to get what they can of a draft pick out of Derek Anderson, which will probably be a 5th or a 6th because
Yeah,
that's where they got him.
To where? How long is Derek Anderson's career? Josh makes a perfect point. He is a fresh quarterback.
He's a great quarterback.
What happens to Derek Anderson?
He gets traded for a draft pick.
To who?
You've got
Who
two.
wants
You
a
have two
Derek
starting.
Anderson?
You have two starting
Oh,
quarterbacks.
Derek
man.
Anderson.
A lot-
Kansas City,
Detroit.
Detroit.
You've got a lot of. You got two starting quarterbacks
Tampa.
on an NFL team. You're not winning games. It's practiced all over the
So
NFL.
you
You trade quarterbacks and
You
try to
know-
reinvigorate your squad.
Actually,
It's-
where a fine place for Derek Anderson would be Carolina because Delhomme isn't going to be around forever.
No.
And that would be a good pickup for them. And they're a franchise that picks up guys like that.
Basically, you guys are saying, though, that we have not seen the last of Derek Anderson.
No,
he'll go somewhere.
they're not going to keep him.
Good. I like to
As
hear
many
that.
terrible
But 6
quarterbacks
weeks-
as there is in the NFL, he'll play somewhere.
But what a great season he had last year, and all of a sudden, a couple weeks into it, he's just a throwaway for Brady Quinn.
Well, he didn't play. You've got to remember, he didn't play well for the last 4 weeks of last season.
25 million reasons they have to eventually start Brady Quinn. That was his signing bonus.
Good point.
That's a lot of ducats.
He was drafted to be their starter, and suddenly Derek Anderson comes out of the woodwork, does well. You've got to stick with what's going well. So-
You should be one to talk, having never, ever seen a quarterback controversy, a quarterback getting thrown on the bus. I'm sure you've never, ever seen that in your entire football fanship.
I think it was actually a little bit.
Well, not a good. I've never seen
Sexy
a
Rex is
good
back,
quarterback controversy. I've seen a bad quarterback controversy, but I've never seen a good one. But
With Grossman,
and
yeah.
I think it's a good one in Cleveland. I think that's a good 1-2 quarterback controversy.
And he went quietly. The media wasn't calling for his head. The organization just said, our season isn't going to get any better. And the best way to get Brady Quinn involved this season is to put him against Denver and run the football a lot, get him comfortable. He left the game with a 104 rating, looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think he played all that well. He did. There was 2 plays that I saw him that he actually made where he kind of showed the athleticism in the pocket because he's a pretty strong guy for a quarterback. And he kind of sloughed somebody and did the hop pass. It was only a 4-yard pass, but it went for 15.
Interesting.
Okay, interesting. Let's get
Off
off
the
the
Browns.
Yeah, should we move
Get
on?
off the
Moving
Browns.
on.
20 minutes of
Some,
Browns talk.
I would
calls.
actually,
Thanks,
right
Josh.
now, what we need to do is we need to just hit up the fantasy early because we've missed it 2 weeks in a row. And it's,
Time for a little fantasy call.
time for a little fantasy calling. Got any fantasy picks, Drayton?
I'm certainly not taking Rex Grossman against the Titans. Actually, I have no fantasy picks this weekend because I don't have a fantasy team.
Oh my.
Well, I guess if honesty
So,
gets you.
I'll go
fantasy
with,
points.
I'm going to go with Matt Castle.
Do you think Matt Castle's a good start?
I think he's a good start. So you mark that down.
Against Buffalo.
Against Buffalo.
I think he's going to have a huge game. The running game is hurting. They're going to have to throw, and Matt Castle is going to be my boy this week.
Who's a quarterback that you wouldn't want to have this week?
Rex Grossman.
Well, say a starting
I'm
quarterback.
going to say Kerry
Rex
Collins.
McPherson
Kerry
is a starting
Collins.
quarterback.
Kerry Collins has got the flu. He's got a injured ankle,
And a social security check waiting.
and
Warm
I
soup.
think the Bears
Warm
the Bears
soup.
D is going to get at him. So the quarterback I would not have is Kerry Collins, and the
Every week, the
quarterback
guy only
I
throws
would
for 100
have
yards a week.
168. But the quarterback I would not have is Kerry Collins, and I'm going to stick with Matt Castle. I think he's going to have
I
a
think
good
that Matt
weekend.
Castle might get it done
Against
against Buffalo.
Winging
Buffalo.
it picks, those are good ones.
As far as winging it goes.
Yeah. In my field, I think I'm going to take starting Calvin Johnson.
Everybody starts
surprise-
it every week.
No. But that's the thing is that
It's like saying, I will wake up tomorrow.
you look at a team like Detroit and you go, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole no matter who's on that team. You do the same thing with St. Louis. You do it with Cincinnati. You just stay away from them. You don't start those people. Calvin Johnson this week, big game.
I think that Calvin Johnson has one of the highest starts in all of fantasy football.
With Dante Culpepper
he
throwing
is
to
scoring
him?
big points, but sometimes
Do you think
we don't
Culpepper's
talk
throwing
very
to him?
much about.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just depends.
are you
It's
kidding
either
me? That's
Stanton- it's
that's
Stanton or
Dante
Culpepper.
Culpepper's.
That's
That's
his
his
thing.
system.
That is
He
his
drops
system.
back and throws big.
Throws to a big
Guess
guy.
who's out there to get at Calvin Johnson? You're going to see big numbers out of him this
Yeah.
week.
If he plays.
Culpepper,
Not to mention, Jacksonville has allowed 11 touchdowns in their last 4 games, passing touchdowns. Those are big fantasy points.
they are.
As I have.
Wait a minute, you
Almost
didn't let me
every
sit
week.
somebody. I don't.
Oh,
gonna
who
sit
are you?
somebody?
sitting?
Did you want to sit somebody?
I was going to sit.
Would you
Hines.
like to sit somebody?
Yeah, I
Would you
think,
like to sit-
I think I'm going to sit Hines Ward.
Hines Ward, huh?
Yeah, that's my bold pick for the week.
Wow.
Pittsburgh against the Colts. Colts have only allowed 2 passing touchdowns
Yeah, that's
this
true.
season. So,
Really?
yeah,
They're-
sit
well,
Hines Ward.
they haven't got any of those guys
That's
back
big.
in their secondary.
And Roethlisberger is doubtful.
Yeah, that's right. He's which necessarily isn't a big thing, but Hines Ward appears to me to be. He's still Hines Ward. He's still having fun playing the game.
Yeah.
But ball ends up on the ground a lot more than what I'm expecting from him.
Also, if you have Leftwich start, that is going to be the one receiver that he works with the least because he's an older receiver and he's not taking any of the snaps. Like
right.
Santonio Holmes is still going to take snaps with Byron Leftwich in practice. And who's that
Nate
fella?
Washington.
Nate Washington's always taking snaps with Byron Leftwich. The new guy, the draft pick.
Lima Swede.
Limas Swede,
Yeah.
he's going to probably see action a lot more than usual if Leftwich starts because they have a good rapport with each other.
Yeah, and Leftwich has a big arm.
Big
if he's
arm.
passing, he's going to be going deep as
But-
well, which is not Hines Ward's territory.
I'm excited about it as a Colts fan because if he starts, he's performed miserably against them. And it deals with the loading of the cannon where he gets the football
Loading of the cannon.
and then he gets
With
it
the
down
cockback.
here and then it comes around
Always
and it
lighting the
keeps
fuse.
coming around. Yeah, but it's like zing, and then it's just like a rocket. It's
90
going to
90 yards.
Mars.
It's the only chance that the Colts defense has
Yeah.
any sacks this season is that
That
long
right there?
windup.
Because that windup has netted Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis sacks upon sacks upon sacks
on sacks.
upon sacks.
Sacks.
You're up, Mackie boy.
I will be on the same bandwagon I have been on for the last few weeks. Willie Parker is out. Start Mweldy Moore. Absolutely. Got a backup quarterback in there. Pittsburgh is a running team. They will pound the ball. They will pound the ball.
And the
Mweldy
Colts
Moore.
don't really do anything against the run.
And I think you should sing your fantasy picks actually with that microphone.
I?
You shouldn't be
We
talking
have
to
a-
you. Should
No, I
get a
would
little
think you should stop.
We have a
more.
phone call. We have a phone call. Seth from Melba is
Seth.
on line 1 because we have one line.
Nice. Good call. Seth, are you there, Seth?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just wondering who you guys think is going to win AFC East.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's a toss-up still.
What?
New England Patriots.
Miami is going to come
New
back
England
and get
Patriots,
it done.
all over it.
He says New England.
I'm
I'm
New
sticking
England
with
all over
Buffalo.
What was the crystal ball pick of the week? Predicted the Dolphins would take that division, and I don't necessarily disagree with it.
I think it's.
I don't see it not happening, but I think the Patriots are going to win that division.
I think Dolphins are going to wax them
The
across
Dolphins?
the board.
The
Yeah,
Fins?
absolutely.
The cameraman says Buffalo.
Yeah.
Cameraman says Buffalo.
It's
Old
So
noodle
that's-
arm Chad
that's two
Pennington.
for
I'm
Buffalo.
playing the
and-
safety.
Oh,
I'm
hey,
doing the
thank
safety
you.
dance.
I'm really happy that you
Hey,
said
should I
that.
have to go to noodle
Chad
arm?
Pennington
Chad
is
Pennington.
number 7 in passing yards with a 95
Playing
rating.
Terrific. He's playing for a wimpy little arm. That guy is throwing very well.
He's never thrown it hard, neither did Joe Montana.
Well, there's a difference.
Yeah, the 4 rings.
Yeah.
Other than that, I actually have never seen anybody that plays just like throughout Pennington's career, I've always gone, this guy really plays a lot like Montana. His footwork's the same.
He's smart.
He's smart.
A very smart quarterback. He's very methodical. He just can't throw past 30 yards.
And
is
he
a
gets
goofy-looking
injured
guy,
a
too.
lot. Yeah.
And he's
Doesn't have a lot of Jerry
I think
Rice
he's
back
actually
there to
quite
throw to.
striking.
He's a striking man. from
Striking.
Sam. Which I guess if you want any dude's opinion, it's yours, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess apparently
Yeah.
we're throwing New York under the bus in this division.
New
though?
York, I think,
Yeah,
has
New
a
York
playoff
has
chance.
one.
I think they will beat the Patriots into the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too.
Your was, we'll get back to your sit-em. You had Mweldy Moore up, which is a good pick,
I
I think.
don't even really have a sit in this week.
You don't have a
I'm not
sit-em?
even going to pretend.
Brian Grant.
Brian Grant, Minnesota.
Sit Larry Johnson.
He's suspended.
Yeah, well,
Good idea.
I guess you didn't decide to try very hard today. Did
It was nice that you did start Mweldy Moore in a week that he actually wasn't on a bye, though. I'd like to congratulate you on that.
I'm going to do something to you.
Something? You've already
Rumble
done
in
that,
the parking
sir.
lot outside of TV.
Yeah.
Sit Larry Johnson this week, guys.
Yeah, good idea.
sit him.
Good
Yeah.
idea. And if you're in a nightclub, stay away from Larry Johnson. Completely.
Unless you like loogies and boogers.
Yeah.
Boogie and boogers.
Oh,
Little boogie on the finger from
that is ridiculous.
Anyway.
Oh.
I'm gonna.
Hi.
Hi. I'm gonna go with the same team, the two-headed monster, Tennessee, playing the Bears. The Bears have a very fast sideline-to-sideline defense. I think this is the week that you don't want Chris Johnson in there. It is the week you do want Lendell White in there. So I'm going to sit Chris Johnson. I'm going to start Lendell White.
He's got 10
You're going to
touchdowns.
start double
leads the
quarter pounder
NFL.
with cheese.
Double quarter pounder with cheese represents more of a threat to that defense than I guess fast sideline-to-sideline guy.
Football Buddha is going for touchdowns. You heard it here.
And Lendell White's broken a couple for 60 already.
He has.
It's
Looks like
like-
he's running for a snack.
Not this
Yeah, no,
week.
they do. They actually put
Not this week.
They
Let's
put a
go
tray
Bears.
of tacos behind the pylon, and he
I'm-
just
I'm
aims
actually
for
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
You're not going to see anything out of Tennessee's offense this week.
I certainly
I
don't.
predict another one.
You're going
For
to say
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Think about it. Think about, yeah, they have Forte running the ball for the Bears. He's a good running back. They have Rex Grossman. The guy has the IQ of a hamster. He is going to throw interceptions all day.
The thing about Chicago, though,
He might stand a chance. He has his sparks here and there and throws touchdowns.
every year this conversation comes up about the undefeated team. Chicago is a team that beats undefeated teams, no matter what type of season that they are having. Those guys play football against undefeated teams, and they usually win those games.
And at
Is that
home.
their pregame speech?
And that's
Unless they're
a good
undefeated,
color
in which
testament,
case
thank
the
you.
Dolphins become the team that dethrones them.
the Bears
right.
could do it. And they haven't beaten the Bears. They've never beaten the Bears in Chicago, and that doesn't mean there's time for a change. It's a muddy field.
Yes,
There's
it
going to be a lot of things going against the Titans.
We need to get him to pick against the
Mostly
Bears
the
someday.
Bears.
Why would he pick against the Bears?
I don't know. I just think it would be fun.
When they have a losing season, we might see something like that, like the Detroit
Not this year.
controversy in this
No,
lineup. But
the Bears might be the best 5-3 team in football right now, and
And there's a lot of
yeah,
5-3 team football.
The Titans
football
are
teams
the
right now.
best undefeated football
Well, they're-
team out there because they're the only one.
They're the only ones, yes.
So we'll see.
I'm
But
with you.
I'm going to be roo.
Bears.
Let's all get together.
Bears.
And hang out
I'm
together.
gonna
One
pick
Titans.
Titans.
He's staying with the
I will-
Titans.
I will
running
stay
the
with
Bears.
the Titans.
This is a good way to segue into our game picks, actually.
Yeah.
I did stay with the Titans last week over y'all.
Well,
Yes,
And they
that
did
we
beat Green
They
Bay.
did beat Green Bay. And I said on television, Green Bay is not a team that's going to squander opportunities for turnovers, and they missed 5 opportunities for turnovers. I don't know what it is, if there's like the some kind of honky-tonk deity is watching over the Titans.
honky-tonk deity.
Yes,
They've got a redneck on the sideline.
he's got some hocus pocus
They're
on
going
that
to
football.
Graceland.
I've never heard it. Have you ever heard of honky-tonk?
I've actually never had
Hocus
any.
pocus.
I actually had to pull that one out of my
Honky-tonk
pocket.
Football in the same conversation.
Yeah,
but
that's a tough
You got a
one.
redneck with a
Honky
wizard
tonk
hat.
hocus
Yeah.
pocus. Yeah,
We do have a
that's awesome.
caller from Mordor. His name is Troy, and he may or may not represent pure evil.
Troy,
No
let's get
evil
you on
here.
here.
all
There
same
you go.
guy.
What's the difference between Pepto-Bismol and Detroit Lions defense?
Ooh, we want to hear it. We want to hear it.
Does that have to do with diarrhea?
Only one stopped the run.
Nice. Woo!
Do-do-do.
Thank you, Troy.
God, how did we not see that coming?
Like a freight train.
How did the Detroit
Why are
Lions
you
not
from
see the
Mordor?
running coming?
Mordor. It's nice in the winter.
Do we have to respond to that?
I like
No,
that,
I don't.
Troy.
I mean, what do you say?
He
They
listed that he was
can't
from Mordor.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
Stop.
We've
yeah,
had
they-
one from Melba, one from Mordor. What's the here's the new joke. What's the difference between Mordor and Melba? 4 orcs and a wizard.
You heard it here, folks.
Anyway,
If you'd like to
This
know
is a
Drayton's
football
personal
show.
home address, just ask me. I will let you know if you can kill him.
oh, boy.
I don't even.
Anyway.
I can't even gauge that. What is your? He's taking the Bears. We're all taking the
I'm
Bears
taking the
except for
Bears.
him.
Justin's
What do-
taking
who,
the
who do you got
Bears.
for your game?
That's a
Justin?
big game.
Who do you got for your game?
Hey, bad news for you. I gave you the thumbs up on Chicago. I'm giving you the thumbs down on the New England Patriots. Buffalo is going to take the New England Patriots down this week.
Oh, man.
I know that I say it every week, but really,
That was
this
your
is
game. You were taking the Packers and the Vikings.
Oh, I'm just making stuff up at this point.
People are calling from Mordor. Just let it fly.
All right.
What
No,
would you want
I
here?
just wanted to steal your thing because I
steal
don't
my
actually
thunder.
like hearing you talk. So
Okay.
yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
okay.
I don't
All right.
really like talking.
Green Bay, Minnesota. I hate to say it, but this time you're actually going to see a Minnesota win.
You might be right.
It's
Where's
at
Should we just go
home.
from Patriots?
Yeah, it is at
Yeah,
home.
I decided to play by the rules and go with.
It's
Green
at
Bay,
home.
Minnesota.
It's in
Where
a
are
league
we?
that it's hard to not split with the other team unless they're the Lions. You
They're
get-
both 4-4.
They're both 4-4.
The Lions, I think they have a good chance of winning this.
I think the Lions can split with Minnesota.
I think you guys are nuts. You guys have been on your grandpa's cough medicine all day or something because you're making bad calls. I'm going to tell you right now, to your face, is
I have been told.
okay.
told it.
So,
The
yeah,
reprimand is here.
he's taking. What do you want? You want Green Bay? You want Minnesota?
Where's that? Minnesota?
It's at Minnesota.
I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to take this one. The purples. They wear purples and have horns and ponytails.
On a roll.
The ponytails and the horns and the purple and
The
other
crazy guy with the axe on the side.
other effeminate objects are going to actually beat the people that pack meat
Or cheese.
or cheese. I suppose that's true. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, I think the Vikings take the Packers this
I
weekend.
see the Packers taking it down this week. They're angry. They're angry.
They have to.
2,
Yeah.
1,
I'm taking the Packers. They have to.
2 and 2.
They
and
have
they do
to.
have to.
A split.
I mean, that
Absolutely
doesn't mean
have
they
to.
will, but they have to.
They're a good football team. They're just not playing like one. They're playing like a good football team for about.
Which makes you a pretty bad football
Yeah,
team.
it is. Because, well, hey, there's been the Bears have had their moments where they play 46 minutes of football or 52 minutes of
moments?
football.
48, 49.
How about 90% of the time?
Yeah, the Packers right now are
Offense.
playing about
Nice team.
53 minutes of football.
Very true.
You time that?
I'm just guessing.
All right.
Okay, Patriots. How about you?
Patriots,
How about you,
Buffalo.
Mac?
Do I get to call this one?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
go
get to
ahead.
call
Go
this
ahead.
Is this my turn?
And
You
you
can,
have
you
the
can
microphone.
imitate
We had
Howard
some
Cosell with
foreshadowing
that.
involved in it, but
I call Patriots.
we'll hold that for just a second. Tyrone from Tatooine
Echo base.
is taking some time off from shooting womp rats to give us a phone call about fantasy football. You there, Tyrone?
I am here.
Hello, Tyrone.
What about fantasy football would you like to talk about, Tyrone?
Well, my question is just if you feel that at this point in the season, being a rookie, if you think that Matt Ryan has established himself as one of the number 1 QBs in the league.
I think that was
Yeah.
established at
I'm a Bears
week
fan.
3.
Yeah, he's been
he
scoring like mad.
destroyed us.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
Well,
been,
what do you think
Flacco
been his
established
success
himself at
being on
week
the
2.
Falcons?
What was that? I'm sorry?
What do you think's been his success?
New coach.
Yeah, they've actually geared up pretty well. Michael Turner and
Week 1.
Michael Turner has been a demon.
Yeah.
But Jarius Norwood is not a slouch, and those guys are both producing. That is really helpful for a young
White
quarterback.
and Jenkins
And-
deciding to learn how to play football this
Jenkins, I've been watching
hasn't even
him.
been a starter, really. He hasn't even received a majority of the passes.
They
He's
drafted
still
him to do it, but he's been catching them now because Ryan throws a nice, easy to catch ball. Vic throws these lasers that are. I mean, the only guy that caught him was Algie Crumpler,
Yeah,
and he was
but-
getting knocked over.
And
with
the
them
Falcons
sometimes.
organization, they put everything into their quarterbacks. I mean, look at Michael Vick. I mean, even when he was about ready to go down for dogfighting, they still had his back. The Falcons organization puts everything they can into their quarterback.
I agree.
Confidence, trust.
Yeah.
They give him the contract, the confidence, the trust. The team believes in him. I mean, they do everything they can to make him comfortable, and that makes a huge difference when you're a rookie.
Drayton's absolutely right. What I've seen out of Atlanta is really well drawn up plays around that quarterback system. Every time I see them execute a play, it looks like it's executed well, and it's a well drawn up play. It's all about Matt Ryan in Atlanta.
Yeah, the fans have helped as well. We're running out of time. I'm going to make my quick pick on the Saints-Falcons because we're talking about Matt Ryan. The Saints, I think, are going to win because it's going to be a shootout, and Falcons aren't ready for that shootout
Drew Brees owns shootouts.
Drew Brees
he
owns
really
shootouts.
does.
And that is basically all the time we have this week.
Hi, Marley.
I would like to thank Drayton Nil, Justin Throngard, Matt Christian, and I'd like to thank myself for being awesome.
Nice
Thank
job.
you. We're out.
Hi, Marley. Hi, Mom, Dad.
We're out.
Good
We
show.
were out 30 seconds ago.
Good.
Interesting show, gentlemen.
Is the American Honk Tonk Bar Association.
I don't
Dude,
like
we had
the
callers
microphone.
From Tatooine, from
Mordor.
Melba, from Mordor, from Parma, from
Where is
my grandma's house.
Tatooine?
From the Dome.
That's where Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
Like Womp Rat. He's like,
I didn't even know what a
Womp
Womp Rat
Rat's in
is.
Beggar's Canyon back home.